about you, Catan. Your failure as a Jedi hasn't weakened you. It's only made you stronger.
Welcome back to Retro Rebound. In today's video, oh me, oh my, we are talking about a lot of Star Wars games in a very specific era, mind you. This week happens to be the launch of a very important television show over on Disney Plus that I'm so excited for, Kenobi. And in anticipation of Kenobi, I wanted to talk about all of the prequel Star Wars games that I could get my hands on and reminisce on each and every single one of them. Some of them really good, some of them not so great. You'll know it when you see it, but there's a lot of greatness in this era of Star Wars gaming. I made a video talking about the golden era of Star Wars video games, where I highlighted some specific favorites from the early 2000s that spanned across multiple generations of Star Wars. So if you have yet to see that and you're going to look at this video and go like, where's KOTOR, Maddie? Well, it's not a prequel game. That's not why it's not here, but we have videos dedicated to that. So just know there's a ton of Star Wars content here on this channel where we talk about all different types of video games in throwback fashion. So if that is your jam, consider subscribing. Welcome aboard. We like positivity here, a rare thing on the internet indeed. Now, let's start off with a set of games that we have talked about in the past, but I wanted to start off with these games because, I mean, we're talking about Kenobi, so we got to talk about Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, I have two versions here. I have the PS2 version. I have the Nintendo DS version. We're going to go through the complete box experience for both. This provides the ultimate Jedi action experience with exclusive movie content, the powers of a Jedi, and going beyond the film through 16 interactive levels. Cracking it open, disc with the iconic imagery from Episode 3 that I adore oh so much. The manual has a little bit of a marketing slip in here with Vader surrounding ObiWan and Anakin fighting, which I always thought was really cool. And for a game that's very simplistic, you'll be surprised just how much text, look at that, how much text there is within the manuals for these games, how experience is explained, how skills are accumulated. It's hilarious in this game of things. But anyway, nothing crazy about this complete box copy there, nothing colorful, nothing insightful within the actual manual. So yeah, that's what you get for the PS2. For the Nintendo DS, same thing, ultimate Jedi action experience. But you'll notice in the imagery here, compared to what you're seeing here, this is a 2D side scroller, completely different video games. And again, cartridge on the right side, we have the manual here. On this side, a lot more colorful, a lot more playful, a lot more condensed in its text, a lot more digestible. And it's funny because I think you'd imagine they're dumbing it down for a younger audience, right? But I think this is the more hardcore game. You see some of the sprite work here. You can tell this one was more imaginative. So this actually comes from Ubisoft, funny enough, whereas this one was made by The Collective. Anyway, these games are fantastic. I think that Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, sits in my head more as the surprisingly good multiplayer lightsaber fighting game. I liked it for that. There were some dope fights I had with friends when I was younger. But really, what takes the cake for me, and I want to spend more time talking about, is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, I originally did not have it on the DS when I was younger. I had it on the Game Boy Advance. If you're hunting down this copy, just get it on the Nintendo DS. It is the same exact game from top to bottom. Just get it. It's way cheaper. Don't waste your money with a complete in-box copy that's completely skyrocketed in price over on eBay. Not worth it. DS copy is the wave. I think this game is one of the best side-scrollers of all time. Pretty bold statement. I know there's some great ones out there between like Mega Man, Castlevania. Why do I think a Star Wars movie tie-in game is that great? It's because of the combat mechanics, the high, middle, and low attacks. It's about the sprite work, the music, the scaling of your upgrades for your characters, the force abilities you get, the interactions with the environments. It's got a mixture of like 2D beat 'em up energy, kind of like Streets of Rage, for example, but there's a skill level there. Now, is it this incredibly high skill gap? No, but you can do some really cool things in this game. And as a kid, like mastering this game, because it only took about an hour for each story mode to go through, hour to an hour and a half, so you could beat this literally in like an afternoon or an evening, whatever you choose. So it's a great little nostalgia trip if you're watching this after Kenobi and you're like, ooh, I could get down with that. This is a perfect game for that. But it's going back over and over and seeing how much better you've got and playing it on a higher difficulty. That's why I love this version. And I'm usually not that type of gamer. Like, I usually like to replay RPGs and see all the choices I make, hence why KOTOR is my favorite game ever. But with this one, it's a rare moment, kind of like with Mega Man, where I go, oh man, they got one here, and I got to go back and conquer this beast again. So shout out to episode 3 of Revenge of the Sith on DS. PS2 is no snooze fest either. Really cool game, but it's more akin to the typical movie tie-in video games that you've seen in the past. All right, let's move on to one that I got to make it up for all of you, because if you remember in our golden era of Star Wars games video, I talked about a certain game that I only had a limited run edition copy of. Now we right that wrong. Star Wars Republic Commando. Oh my God. The episode 3 video game that we dream of, because we need that sequel. We need a continuation. Just write a book. Someone, I'll do it. I would love to do it, but it seems like it's all dead and gone. If you haven't played this game, I want to say go ahead and do it, because it's a phenomenal first-person shooter set in the Star Wars universe. But you are going to be left with one of the most irritating cliffhangers ever, just because you never will get answers about a particular character. As always, the back of the box says your squad is your weapon. Chaos has erupted throughout the galaxy. As leader of an elite squad of Republic Commandos, your mission is to infiltrate, dominate, and ultimately annihilate the enemy. Your squad will follow your orders and your lead, working together as a team. Instinctively, intelligently, instantly. You are the leader. They are your weapon. I never played the multiplayer for this game. I know it does come with this game, and this game also comes with a hair, it seems. I didn't check it when I got it in the mail from eBay, but that is disgusting. Look at that. I don't like that. Stop. Clean your stuff before you send it to me. Okay, marketing slip, postcard. Check all this stuff off. Send it into Lucasfilm Games. They're like, hey, we'll do that again. Why not? And then the manual, which is, I love this look, because if you remember in Republic Commando, when you had your night vision goggles on, everything went black and white, and it would just pop up text on the screen for like little HUD indicators. So I felt like this was kind of an interesting play into that. At times it does look a little lazy. In some images you can just see, like here, just it's combat with a screenshot in the background and it's black and white. Nothing crazy here though, but what I do love is this on the back, this promotion for another Star Wars Clone Wars show that doesn't get a lot of love. It's not the one that you know of that's very popular now. It is the Cartoon Network one. As you can see here on the bottom left, very small icon, Cartoon Network. That show is great. Some really cool fights in there. Check out the General Grievous one if you have yet to. Awesome stuff. The reason I love Republic Commando is because of its grittiness. I love that there's a vibroblade on the end of your fist, and you can just stab things, and blood actually hits your screen. I know I sound like a psychopath, but the fact that that was a thing in Star Wars was crazy to me. It's got some epic music, some epic set pieces, and all in all, it is a squad-based first-person shooter that we need more of. Like a modernized version of Republic Commando, maybe by like Respawn, would be incredible. It'd be a dream come true, quite frankly. So Republic Commando is absolutely a phenomenal prequel-era video game. Well, it's not always going to be phenomenal. Let's talk about Star Wars ObiWan. This box art cracks me up. It's a blurry image. A blurry image of Obi-Wan from episode 2. The fate of a Jedi, the destiny of a galaxy. Now, what's interesting is this was an Xbox exclusive for some time, but it doesn't have the only on Xbox stamp. Draw upon all of your Jedi training, force powers, and lightsaber skills to defeat the worst scum and villainy in the galaxy. In the weeks prior to the Trade Federation invasion of Naboo, Obi-Wan discovers an underworld trail which leads from crime lords in the lowest depths of Coruscant to the homeworld of a mysterious new enemy, the Jinha. The power of the Jedi is in your hands. Force push, pull, throw, and jump your way through dangerous situations and extend your abilities with Jedi agility and saber throws. Face off against dangerous enemies, assassin droids, a Tusken war chief, assorted thugs, and ultimately Darth Maul in over 15 action-packed levels. I get a kick out of this because these games back then would spoil themselves like that there. And ultimately Darth Maul. And by the way, here are all the other bosses in the game. Follow the trail in this original story from the teeming worlds of Coruscant to the outer reaches of the galaxy, including the Tatooine deserts and the Jinha homeworld of Obra Dinn. Tune your skills in 6 different 2-player arenas, facing Jedi Masters such as Mace Windu, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Saci Teen. I've actually never heard of that character before. Cracking it open. More blurry imagery of our man Obi-Wan himself. More of those marketing slips I've told you about 1,000,001 times at this point. I don't even think I need to go over them, but it's good to have them in the complete in-box copy. And then the manual experience for Star Wars Obi-Wan is not the best, not the worst thing in the world. And, you know, not going to really blow you away. or anything like that, but it's there. It exists. You can have it if you want. He's about to impale someone here. That's cool. You like to see that. Otherwise, on the back, they're promoting Star Wars Starfighter Special Edition, which takes players through an epic journey on Naboo and controls the climactic assault on a droid control ship. This was a specific Xbox version, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for now, we speak about Star Wars ObiWan. What a hilarious bit of timing this is, and you might see this one a little bit later here on Retro Rebound. We got something cooking for you I'm really excited about. Anyway, this game, I remember renting it at Blockbuster, and that's all she wrote. I don't got much else to say about it because I played it as a kid. I was like, face wrinkled up a little bit because I was going from KOTOR and Battlefront and Republic Commando, and I remember Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. I'm going through all these great games, and I'm like, oh, new Star Wars game, nice, because I'm such a shill for Star Wars. I'm like, great, let's try it out. Okay. Well, back you go. It was fun. And yeah, thanks for the exclusive, Xbox. We'll talk about that game more in a separate video. Another one, I'm gonna bend the rules on this one here. This isn't prequel era, but I know a lot of you would get mad at me if throughout multiple Star Wars videos we've done, I did not talk about Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy from Raven Software, one of the most underrated developers in our industry. Okay. On the back, it says, forge your weapon and follow the path of the Jedi. Cracking it open, we see here a absolute chunker of a manual. But check this out. Beyond the marketing slip, we also have 2 months of free Xbox Live. I don't know. I always found it cool finding this stuff because I didn't sign up for Xbox Live or like any of the PlayStation Online stuff until the 360 generation. So all this was extremely a foreign concept to me. But it's cool. It's in here. And it reminds me of a mod called Star Wars Movie Battles, which really I think has carried the weight for this excellent video game in the years to come, because while many people will still recommend go play Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Star Wars Movie Battles is a mod where you can name a Star Wars character, they're in there. Everyone. There's classes, you can play as blaster characters, it's not just lightsaber characters. You can play as Darth Revan, which, you know me, I'm all about that. It is an absolute blast, even though the community can be totally toxic at times, and that chat is not filtered, so prepare yourselves. You will see some heinous stuff, but otherwise, it's an amazing mod. Why is that? It's built off the back of this incredible game. Let's read through the manual a little bit, and then we will go ahead and talk about why that's the case. I love how this manual, why it's so thick, is it has like separate images just for little aesthetic purposes, and they take up a lot of page room with some of the imagery here, and I like this. Like, you'd see, you know, growing up, this was an unlikely sight, right? Like a Rodian with a lightsaber. It just, I don't know, to me, it was such a foreign sight as a kid growing up. So I was so about it because it was completely different. See tons of in-game screenshots. Imagine if this was colored. This would be a goated manual for sure. But you'll see here they walk you through all the lightsaber moves and all the directions that you'd have to go in to make certain attack combos go through. And then you could dual wield, have a dual lightsaber. You could have a standard singular lightsaber. The amount of powers you had. You'd customize your loadout at the beginning of missions. This game... Oh, look at this. They do have some coloring here. Check that out. Awesome stuff. And they have a little KOTOR promotion there. That's awesome. $50. That never gets old seeing that. That's crazy to me. And they got merch for it, Jedi Academy hat, the strategy guide. We should make a strategy guide video at some point. That'd be fun. Maybe on a rainy day. Anyway, that's what you get complete in box. It actually takes place at the end of Return of the Jedi, where Luke is running his own academy. I know it's kind of funny, right? Because of, you know, the story in the sequel trilogy and how all that went with Kylo Ren. You know, theories were flying around for a while. It's interesting to be involved in that way back in the prequel era. So Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy soars above and beyond many current Star Wars games because of its excellent lightsaber combat. And of course the dismemberment, just whipping this thing around and cutting off arms, cutting off half their body. It is a grueling, satisfying combat experience. And I love that they went this far with it. They didn't have to get bloody with it, but they really let you just dismember foes, which was unheard of. And the fact that it was rated T for teen, like, again, this is just Raven Software doing Raven Software things. Shout out to them. I'm hoping now with Xbox owning them that they are let loose to make whatever they want, because they are god-tier developers that no one talks about. Every game that I've ever played from them has been really good. This is another one of them. Beyond that, I love customizing my loadout at the beginning of missions in this game. For me, that was just a standout thing because as you go through the game, you'll unlock light side and dark side power, so you can like heal in the middle of a mission, or you could like choke the life out of someone. And without spoiling it, there are multiple endings in this game. That is something that will forever have surprised me because I always thought that was reserved for KOTOR. But they're like, let's do multiple endings, and it's awesome. It gives it replay value beyond just the gameplay kits. So surfing through some levels, having some epic lightsaber fights. If this is one that you have missed out on, do yourself a favor. Play Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. All right, we got a lot more to go through here. Let's keep it rolling with Star Wars Starfighter. And I want to also do Jedi Starfighter in the same breath here. So this was the first entry. This was the sequel. There were a lot of Starfighter games. There was also on the GameCube in the original trilogy era, the Rogue Leader games. So first off, on the back of this one, courage, skill, honor. Ooh, you love to see that in a Starfighter game. These are the 3 qualities that you must bring to Star Wars Starfighter. A flight action adventure combining intense air and space combat with rich 3D environments. Join 3 Starfighter pilots in a series of harrowing missions to save Naboo and the galaxy from the oppressive abuses of the Trade Federation. May the Force be with you, young Starfighter pilot. This game and this game both ran like doo-doo. But what was interesting is that both these games, The Force Takes Flight, a sneak peek to episode 2, they were like considered graphical showcases. Like they were impressive games for their time. I was reading up about it. Like people were really blown away by them. So we'll talk about them in a little bit because really when you talk about one, you're talking about the other. But let's crack open the complete box experience here. I actually love that they have different disc art compared to the manual art, which I know the manual art is the same as the cover art, but normally the disc art is the same as the manual art. Just a little detail there that your boy noticed. Let's crack this sucker open. Oh my, look at that. Look at that. Look at all that blue. It's amazing what a little color can do. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but check that out. Character bios, lots of writing, lots and lots of writing, hints and tips within here. A little bit of a thinner manual, especially for its time. So that's all you got for that one. And then inside Jedi Starfighter, this is the continuation of the series, as they say here, with 40 new craft capital ships, new playable fighters, and more. Inside this, you get, again, different art. Like what they're doing here. Like what they're doing here. An instruction booklet, which has, I believe, yes, it does. Right here on the back, another one of those little mail-in registration cards. And then flipping through, a lot of teal, a lot of writing. Just text walls, man. They're like, here's a book, have fun. Go read, will you? Even the merch promotions. Look at that. They have a Phantom Menace promotion here. We don't have that game today. Racer Revenge was a pretty solid one, but oh wow, Escape from Monkey Island. I remember that being a big deal. But even this is all tealed over. Anyway, like I said, when you talk about one, you talk about the other. These were for the people who liked vehicle games more than they liked being, you know, boots on the ground soldier or being a Jedi. Can't relate. I never was crazy about these games, but I'm weird. Like, even to this day, I don't like getting in vehicles in games. I like having the control of being on the ground. Like, what can I do? Like, yeah, a vehicle can do that, but it's doing it on behalf of me. What can I personally do? So I connect more with the Jedi, with being the boots on the ground soldier. That doesn't mean that these games are bad, though. They're a really good time. It's just my biggest thing is the frame rate is so choppy, especially in Jedi Starfighter on the PS2. It can get horrendous at times. But again, these were graphical showcase games. Like, they were beautiful for their time, and people really did like them. They really attached themselves to them, and they had solid stories for some. For me, I wasn't in love with them, but overall, they played a pretty significant factor in the Star Wars library of games. And we don't see these types of games that much anymore. The last one we got was Star Wars Squadrons. I thought that was awesome to see in today's technology. But as games become more expensive and difficult to make, you see them less and less. So it's just insane that all these games came out in an era of a couple of movies. This one is like burnt into my skull. I will never, ever forget Star Wars The Clone Wars. As you can see, promotional offer. Yep, it is the double pack. Oh my God, I have a story about this one. So yeah, no back of the box for this one, but I wanted this version because I remember I had my original Xbox. It broke. We had to wait a while. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. Finally, we get enough money saved up because I think like Xbox wouldn't repair it or something. So we had to buy a whole new Xbox. And finally, we get enough saved up to go pick up a new one. And this was the promotional offering they had. And I remember Star Wars The Clone Wars not really liking the base game, but they had a Geonosis arena game where you could run around and play as whoever you wanted to in the prequel era. I think Mace Windu was the main one, though. And you could fight like all the clones. You could fight all of the Geonosians. And that was all I played. And I think that's why, I think that's where it was born that I don't like vehicles in games, because of this one here. Because I saw Clone Wars, I was like, oh my god, the Clone Wars. I love the clones. They're my favorite faction in all of Star Wars. I was like, yes, yes, give me some of that. And then you are in a vehicle most of the game. I'm like, what? What? But then again, I was impatient as a kid. I didn't get very far. I never beat this game. So honestly, it could be something that maybe you do get boots on the ground experience, but I never did. Anyway, cracking it open, as you can see here, the double disc, and I love that they do the double manual with the free trial. Remember, this was what came with the original Xbox for a while. So we'll leave Tetris Worlds in here. Don't worry. We'll get to you someday. And I just love the look of the art, man. So good. Nothing crazy with the manual, though. Lots of character bios. I love that they do that, though. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi, since this is all based off of that show. Much like his master Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan is an unconventional Jedi Knight, adept with a lightsaber, powerful in the Force, but possessing a unique outlook on life. Obi-Wan accepted the task of training young Anakin Skywalker, fulfilling Qui-Gon's dying wish. A cunning swordsman and quick wit, Obi-Wan dutifully obeys his elders in the Jedi Council, but often finds his own way through many of the challenges he faced as a Jedi Knight. So, pretty cool to see all of that. But as you can see in the background, just Clone Wars going on. Not a lot of color. In fact, none at all. Just black and white. All the units that you'd be able to play as. Inside combat power-ups you'd find. And let's see here, multiplayer mode. Is this it? The Academy mode? Okay, the Academy mode is it. It says there are two different versions of this game. One is played with vehicles, the other with Jedi. But the rules are the same. Both players are on the same team and cannot harm one another, except during special gladiator rounds. The players begin in the center of an arena, and opposing forces come in waves to destroy players. If a player dies, he/she will not respawn, except in an elimination round where the players battle each other for points, and all destroyed players respawn before the next wave of enemies. So yeah, that was the mode I played all the time. I couldn't tell you a thing about the story. I couldn't tell you a thing about the campaign. The Academy mode was my mode. So that's what I remember best with this one. We still have a lot of games to go through. This is insane, but there's so many prequel era games. It's disgusting. All right, here's a goated one right here. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. This is a weak complete in box experience. Not proud of this one. Got to replace the case. Got to replace everything. Check this out. No manual. Check this out. GameStop sticker. GameStop sticker. Gross. Not proud of myself. This story takes place before Episode 2 and explains why Jango Fett is used as, you know, the template for the rest of the clones. What a badass game. What a badass game. Jango Fett, this is where my man really solidified himself in my love of Star Wars, because for me personally, like, I remember dressing up as him for Halloween, and it was for no other reason other than, hey, look, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, this guy looks cool, he's got 2 pistols, outfit's awesome, I'm gonna dress up as him. So I didn't know a thing about him, and that's one thing that I always connected with him for. It's like, oh, some people just look really cool, and I want to be them. But this game let you get to know him a lot better, and a really good story. I mean, there's parts in the game where, I talked about this in our individual video here on Retro Rebound about Star Wars Bounty Hunter, where some guy is like asking him to please be spared, and he just throws him off a building. I don't know. He's just brutal. He's brutal. He's pointing guns at everyone constantly, looking for violence. And it's interesting now with Book of Boba Fett being out and us learning more about the character of Boba Fett, how he's all about honor, and Jango Fett's far more ruthless. So it's a really interesting perspective that you can see nowadays with many of you already seeing Book of Boba Fett. So for me personally, this was another one that just I loved. I remember getting like carpal tunnel syndrome though, because there was no way to hold a button to attack. So when you were shooting your pistols all over the place, every shot you see me taking is me like mashing the square button over and over and over and over. And I think that just led to me having elbow problems now here in my mid-20s. So with that, let's talk about the Lego games. We got Lego Star Wars 3 Clone Wars. This is based off the animated show we were talking about, not the Cartoon Network one. the other one. And then we have, of course, the complete saga. Everyone loves Lego Star Wars. How could you not? This is where all the Lego games began. Now, of course, we have the base Lego Star Wars and original trilogy on PS2. I do have those, but I wanted to do, for just keeping it condensed purposes, just the complete saga, which includes all episodes 1 through 6, as you can see here. Of course, now you can go ahead and get Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga episodes 1 through 9, and it is fantastic. Love that game. Anyway, this one says kick some brick in 1 through 6. Love that. New gameplay features, new levels and characters, online 2-player co-op exclusively for the 360, by the way. Saw a lot of people write in about that last time. Cracking this sucker open. It's a Lego game. This has to be beautiful, right? It is. It is beautiful. Your assumption was correct. Look at that. You got C3, you got R2-D2, the bricks on the edges here, gameplay screenshots, color, walking you through like what is super story, what's a mini kit bonus like, which are so important. Even the episode 3 imagery here on Mustafar. Oh, great stuff, man. Great stuff. And then, of course, we also have episode 3, the Clone Wars. It says the saga continues. Build, battle, and launch your way through Star Wars universe like never before. I don't have with me, I'm realizing it now, this is why there's so many. I don't have Republic Heroes, the one that's also based off the animated TV show. I know that one's not very good, so I imagine most of you aren't too upset about that. But play in levels spanning the entire Clone Wars era, including seasons 1 and 2 of the animated hit TV series. Build your army and defend your base in the biggest Lego Star Wars battles ever. And brand new multiplayer modes enable you to play with friends in new ways. All the stuff that's amazing about the show is in much later seasons. So not that seasons 1 and 2 are bad, just it's not where the stuff that really maybe people lose their minds is locked off. As you can see here, the manual in the back is ripped. If you watch my GameStop video, you know how I feel about that one. Wow, what a difference. Black and white, still got the brick exteriors, nothing about the game itself. We were on the way out with manuals at this time. Okay, Lego Star Wars was another major piece growing up as to why I love Star Wars games. Because what each of these did was you'd see the movie and you'd connect deeper into the movie through these video games because they're an interactive medium. And Lego Star Wars was really important to that because it took these levels and these scenes in movies that were like mere seconds, sometimes minutes, and blew them up into like 20-minute exploration fests. And you'd connect with little parts that are tucked away in the movie because they had to be so observant when building the levels, and they'd stretch it out in all these unique ways, and that you just couldn't help but fall in love with every little piece that they were doing in the game. Pardon the pun, because I know we're building brick by brick here. But this was a major reason why I fell in love with Star Wars gaming. There's, the collectathon gameplay was so fun, getting the red bricks and getting these cheat codes for stud multipliers and seeing them just rain in, where when you had 1,000, you're like, yeah, I'm balling right now. And suddenly you got 1,000,000, you're like, that's not too much. I need like 2 more of those. So I love the red brick system. The mini kits were also fantastic because you crawl around the levels again and again with the free play mode, and you'd like use characters that weren't really there for the main story, but now they are available, and you'd be able to, go ahead and get up to a higher area, for example, because Jar Jar Binks was there in like episode 6. And you're like, okay, sure, why not? I love that stuff. So there was a lot of replayability there, and it made it so fun to go back even to this day. All right, we're going to bend the rules sort of one more time. This is for the last set of games, the Force Unleashed games. Now, this one is not prequel era. This one's between episodes 3 and 4. We got to make an exception. We got to talk about Force Unleashed. Oh my gosh. All right, let's start off here. Unleash the power of the Force like never before in a new chapter of the Star Wars saga, with an untold story between, as you can see here, episodes 3 and 4, with lifelike reactions, and unleash epic Force powers and devastating combos. Then on the back of the second game, well, there's a spoiler. Betrayed by Darth Vader for the last time, Starkiller has escaped and faces a new journey to find his true identity. Unleash Fury and unleash the truth in the sequel to the award-winning story. Continue the epic Star Wars saga. Starting off with the first game here. This is very different from the PlayStation 2 and Wii version, mind you. So just keep that in mind. The 360 version is incredible. I do really like, I played it for the first time this year, the PS2 and Wii version. Very different, but it also helps that I replayed this game a number of times. So as you can see here, embracing the dark side. That's what's great about this game. Being evil. You don't do that in Star Wars ever. ever. And I mean, when you take out some of these bosses, oh my God, it's so crazy, some of the things you do. I just wish that Star Wars would do that more. I don't mind the light side stories. I don't mind being the good guy or the good girl all the time. I don't care, but give us a dark side story, or let us, that's why I'm so excited for the KOTOR remake. Like, let us try to be evil at least. Let us attempt to be evil. That's all I want. Anyway, going through this manual, as you can see, very colorful, breaking down the combat actions. How do you lock onto someone? What's saber locking like? Force locking is something you could do, which was also really cool to see. The action camera. They really walk you through everything, even how to contact LucasArts. I'm kidding, even though they really do say that, but you get the point. It's just for consumer feedback. Look at that. Look at that. Master Star Killer, at your request, I have made this training manual for you. It should contain everything you have learned as Darth Vader's secret apprentice. When you begin a mission for Lord Vader, you may want to review your past lessons. I just love that stuff. Like, it's such a little thing, but it's so cool. And then, of course, inside the second game, what we have here is, hey, what's this? Oh, check that out. Little Prima mini hint guide, helping you get through different parts of the game. And then a code for Saber Guard. Nice. I actually didn't know about that. Anyway, that's cool that's in there. This is what came with my GameStop copy, by the way. So this is crazy that this is this loaded up with manuals and stuff. They must know. They must know it's me. Anyway, black and white. Goes over a lot of the same things here. The power of the Force. That's, as given the title of the game, that's a big thing about it. So, yeah, nothing crazy about this one that we haven't gone over yet. Let's talk about the game a little bit more. So, one thing I love about this game is its physics. The physics for Force Unleashed. Dude, like the way you just, bam, and you blow someone away, miles away. And the ragdoll physics. It's because they used Euphoria. For those who have not played any old Rockstar games, remember when you'd like play Red Dead Redemption 1, you shoot someone in the leg and they'd fall over perfectly to the right because you shot that right leg out? That's what they used in Force Unleashed. So when you force push someone and they go flying, that's why, because they used Euphoria. So really, really smart technological decision on that. And then it's just the game that made you feel the Force. Like, you actually sat there and felt the power. Like when you blasted a hole through a starship and you're tackling a Jedi commander out of it and you're crashing down into a building, or you're really crumpling up like an AT-AT with the Force. Some of the boss finishers in this game, while I know people don't like QTEs, oh my goodness, so good. So good. Cannot recommend these games enough. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I know we've been going on long here, but holy smokes, that is the prequel era of Star Wars games, and believe it or not, we did miss some. So I do apologize. I know for some of you out there, you're like, wow, why didn't you talk about Ridge Racer or whatever? I'm sorry. I hope you can forgive me. But these are definitely the highlights. That's for sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, fire away down below. Other than that, take great care of yourselves. Go enjoy some Star Wars, and I'll see you in the next Retro Rebound. Peace out.